So, welcome back after lunch. We're picking up where we left off. This is episode 6, and it's called Hamster Wheel in the Hammock. And we're talking specifically about meditation. Body, breath, emotion, mind, and ego. In an ideal situation, your ego will manage these. Pay attention to what's going on and regulate them. But as it happens, and as we agreed, sometimes this ego gets triggered. And when it's triggered, it spins off into its own ideas and program. And these things are both affected and neglected. So, because of what's happening here, the mind is now wrapped up with this. And when this goes on, then your emotions get triggered and become more powerful and more convincing. And it affects your breathing, and it affects your body. And all of this is going on without this one's awareness, because its attention is drawn towards circumstance. Somebody said or did something, or you said or did something, or somebody neglected to say or do something. And this energy then is focused not here. So then there's nobody here to regulate this. This is why, to me, this part is so important, because it can see this whole scenario without judgment, but with accuracy and love. Oh, poor dear, look what's happening. So meditation specifically then, to me, begins by allowing this part of you to be in the hammock.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, I happen to have a hammock with me.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Yes.
So there's the hammock. So meditation begins not with this one in charge of your meditation. Rather, it begins by these ones being in the hammock. The hope is that when these ones are in the hammock, then whatever emotion you were dealing with from this angle is also in the hammock for a little while.
Yeah.
And this isn't a punishment, this is recess.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your mind, which is normally under the supervision of your ego, your mind is free.
Yeah.
And when your mind is free, it has a chance to go back to neutral and function unimpeded. So then the process is mind, first of all, on the body.
Body and
So
breath.
you go through the whole body and just give it a chance to relax.
Yeah.
It has a chance to return to neutral.
And the breath returns to normal.
And you focus a little bit on the breath, and it has a chance to smooth out. Also in relation to your breath, breath goes on by itself, so it's not even you doing it, but you're observing it return to its natural rhythm.
Mm-hmm. No fast heartbeat.
So then, when this is smoothed out, and your ego has had a little bit of a rest, it's more in neutral.
Yes. It's in the proper place.
It's in its proper place. It's had a rest. It's had a recess.
Yes.
And you sort of got a reset on your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always like this, but this often can happen. So the main starting point then in this style of meditation is you go to the hammock. Mm-hmm. Not as a punishment, but as recess.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really sad if you insist upon this one being in charge of your meditation, because then all the concerns about performance
Yes.
and doing it right and getting it right, you're sort of back in the same standard as your normal life,
Yeah.
But
where you're under pressure to perform.
without meditation, you don't have a break. Your mind doesn't get a break.
No, and this one thinks, okay, I've just got one more thing to do. Now I've got to do my spiritual practice.
And not
So-
only that, but we have friends who can't meditate because they can't sit still.
Yeah, so they think.
You go,
Not being explained what
Yes,
meditation is.
Yes.
So, do you want your meditation to just be as if you don't get off the wheel?
That's another thing to do.
It's one more thing to do, it's one more thing to be responsible for doing, and it's one more thing to worry about a bit. Am I doing it right? Am I getting it right?
exactly.
So if you don't have the right attitude that you're taking to meditation, right perspective, it can actually do more harm.
Well, it'll just reinforce that it's up to you to do everything,
Yes.
including your spiritual practice.
Yes. Wow.
So what a shame, right?
And getting you farther away from where you want to be.
Yeah. So those are your two choices when you're meditating. Either you stay on the hamster wheel of trying to do it right, get it right, or you allow your personality for a little while to be in the hammock and allow the rest of you to reset and refresh yourself.
But that's so key in today's modern world because we don't get a pause button
Mm.
often. It's always like going to the
Yeah.
next thing.
Yeah.
And that is the processing pause button.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meditation.
Meditation.
Yeah.
I love being in that state. Just
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
I was telling you that story earlier where sometimes I'll pose a question for people to see what their answer is, especially with a question that they have not been asked, so they don't have a fixed answer. And my question was, the most difficult part of meditation is, and when I checked my own answer, the word was over. I think if you're here, the most difficult part of meditation is over.
Yes, because you're there already.
You're there already,
Yes.
right? The main thing is you want to get this being out of the driver's seat for a little while.
Right.
And then,
Don't you actually want to get them out of the driver's seat, period, and have this one be the manager and keep them in their place as assistant manager?
that's the hope. But this, for most people, staying there is not that easy. As soon as if the real world takes place again, then it has a tendency to reclaim its natural place. But it's not really the natural place, it's just what you're used to.
That's right.
So,
Which is why it's important to have the regular spiritual practice.
yeah, and have some idea that it's not really about self-improvement about this one.
No.
That something else is going on. And if you allow it, then the freer part of yourself will reveal itself to you almost effortlessly.